Hi everyone, welcome to Humanities 1 online for spring 2019. This video is just going to serve to be a welcome video, welcome to the class, and also to talk about the book that you'll need, go over the syllabus and a little bit of navigation of the course, talk about reading responses and what those should look like, and finally look at the flipgrid in case anyone has any questions about that so far. Okay, so the first thing right off the bat is you will need a book for this class. It looks like this. It's called Experience Humanities Volume 1, Renaissance, or the Beginnings through the Renaissance. And so you will need that for this class. It often comes with a reader, but you do not need the reader because any extra readings that we have, I will make available to you on Blackboard. So now we've talked about the book, let's talk about the syllabus and navigation of the course a little bit. So if you look on Blackboard, you will see the welcome screen that has this right here. So that has a lot of reading response information that I'm going to talk about in just one second. But first I want to show you that this is information about me. I will update those office hours soon just so you kind of know when I'll be here in my office. But this is my email address, my work office phone number, my office location, which is in Ollie Center for Academic Excellence, 1305. And if you want to come and see me in my office, this is a little bit of what my office looks like. I have a lot of candy left over from a birthday last month. So if you want to come see me, I'm in Ollie Center, which is on campus. It's the one right across the street from Bud's. So if you're driving and Bud's is on your right, we're that building right on the left at the front of campus. So you can come see me then anytime. I'm on the 3rd floor in that suite of offices with some other instructors in the Fine Arts Department. So you can come and find me there. So here is the syllabus tab that has the syllabus information on it. Here is the syllabus. You can pop that open. It's opening in a Word document, and you can see all that information. Again, my information, how to contact me, the book that you need. Make sure that you know you have daily internet access, a camera phone, or a webcam for Flipgrid. You will need that to complete the course. Now, as far as the things that you probably want to know is how do you earn your grade in this class, and that is right here. That's that information. So the first thing on there is reading responses, which is worth 30%, and discussion posts are 10%. So I want to talk about those a little bit. So when you're talking about reading responses, you are going to find that information right here about what that's going to look like. So you can click on that, and I highly, highly recommend that you read all of this information. That might be in reverse now based on your calendar, and we can look at that and I'll fix it if it is. But you want to make sure that here's the information you want to look at. This is going to help you a lot on figuring out what your reading response needs to include. So one thing you want to make sure of is that your response is more of a reflection on what you read and like incorporating outside things like what did this make you think of? What are some examples of this? Rather than just a summary. So you don't want to be like, okay, this was chapter 1. Well, we all read chapter 1, right? So you don't want to just tell us exactly what you read. You want to apply that and analyze it and think about it a little bit. So what reading responses and discussion posts serve to do in an online class is we are not in class, right, in person to where we can just talk about what we read. So that's what you're doing with the reading responses. You're giving your thoughts on the text, and then you're discussing those things with classmates. So make sure that you're really looking at beyond what you read and thinking about and analyzing it and including things like direct quotes from the text to back up your ideas. And you're including outside things that connect to the material that you read. Those are the things you want to be doing with a reading response. And some more information about a reading response that you can look at is here is examples and tips. If you click on that, it's going to take you to some helpful things about reading responses. And a rubric right here is, okay, so if you say, how am I going to get the full 10 points, right? What do I want to get? This is going to show you that, right? So if you want to get a 9 or a 10 to get an A on your reading responses, this is what you need to do. You need to go above and beyond just answering the questions or just reflecting on the chapter. You need to motivate discussion and response, ask your classmates questions, approach the topic thoughtfully and uniquely. That's going to be a 9 or a 10. This is the rest of it, right? So that's going to be a B, a C, a D, or an F. So you have to really think about what is this reading response once you make it. So that's an important thing to know about reading responses. And the discussion will be once reading responses are posted, you need to engage with your classmates and kind of talk about their response and maybe ask them some questions, engage in a dialogue of some sort. If you have questions about how to find where those reading responses are, once you get into start working, this is the welcome week. This is unit 1 that will have sort of several chapters in here. So the chapters will include things like, here's the reading response that has information there. You click to launch and then you create a thread, and then your subject should be your name, first and last name. And then I would recommend copying and pasting in from a Word document this information. You can't attach it because that would take a lot longer, it'd be harder for people to read. But you should, I would highly recommend making sure that you complete the reading response in a Word document so you can kind of edit it, you can think about it longer, you can come back to it, you can see a word count so that you know it's long enough, 300 to 500 words, and then copy and paste it into that section. That's what I would recommend doing for, your reading responses. So in those chapters, the unit will look like Unit 1, right? So it has the dates, January 22nd to February 16th. So it'll have several chapters in there. And then this is all the information for that chapter. So that's the reading response. There's the quiz. This is Code of Hammurabi, a little video information about that. Here's going to be some more information about the Code of Hammurabi. Here's some reading, some sections from it that you'll need to do to complete one of your assignments. There's a flipgrid that's going to take you to the flipgrid, like we talked about before, to talk about the Code of Hammurabi in some more details. The Epic of Gilgamesh is going to have a little video to cover that. That's a video over ancient Egypt, and this is an assignment over ancient Egypt video that you just watched. So all that's going to be included in Chapter 1, and you want to make sure that you look out for those due dates that you know when everything is coming up, because everything does have a 12-hour grace period so that you know if it's due by Tuesday at midnight. As long as you get it in by Wednesday at noon, you're going to be okay. But after Wednesday at noon, it's not going to be graded because you have the information in advance. So you make sure that you start working on it in enough time that you can turn it in by the time it's due. Because the problem is if we're late, then we're not staying together and really talking about it as a class. You're just kind of throwing your information on at the end. So you want to make sure that everything is posted by the time it is due. And that's what that 12-hour grace period for, because I know things happen. So goes wrong, if you're posting at 11:59 p.m. and your computer crashes or your internet goes out or something happens, then you have that period of time to kind of help you there. But once that period is over, then I can't accept anything late because then we're all going to be behind. So the last thing I want to talk about is the Flipgrid information so that you can find that here. This is a tutorial, so if you have not watched that yet, I would recommend it. It kind of shows you how to download the app. And here's how you introduce yourself with Flipgrid. So you can click on that link, or if you want to look at, this is your code right here, this Flipgrid code. So if you are on your, if you are on your application on your phone, then you can see at the top of there's a, I'm figuring this out. There's an enter a flip code. So you would enter your flip code right there. And that will take you to the part where you need to introduce yourself. And so once you're there, you just tap that little green add button and it will pop up the camera and you can record your introduction. So several of you have done that already, and that's great. Just make sure if you have any trouble to look at that tutorial, and that should help you, or to follow or to contact me, and I'm happy to help you. So the first thing that you have due here is the syllabus and course information quiz. So make sure that you click on that, get that done by Friday, this Friday, January 18th, so that we know that you're familiar with the class. And introduce yourself. Those two things are due first. Once you complete that, you can start getting into Unit 1. So I hope that this information has been helpful. If anybody has any questions at all, then go ahead and feel free to contact me. Email me at sjblake@carlalbert.edu. That's a better method than going through the course email because I get notifications for the sjblake@carlalbert.edu. The course email doesn't pop in on my phone or in my email inbox, and so it will take me longer to access those. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I hope that this has been helpful, and I can't wait to get going on this course with you all.